y'all, I'm about to do an unboxing of Kim Cran's Archetypes deck. This is an Oracle deck that I don't know if it was meant to go with her Wild Unknown sets. I mean, it has the same label, or if it's an independent thing. I'm not really sure. Maybe we'll figure it out once I open it. The only thing that I really know about this deck is that it was made by the same artist that made these two decks, and which was why I wanted to get it, because I really love those decks. And also that I have heard some rumblings or rumors in the tarot groups and I guess card groups, if you want to call it that, that this deck is pretty sucky, which I find so hard to believe because, you know, like I said, I've got these two and they're fantastic. But we're going to open it and see. I bought this on the pre-order, so I got it a little bit cheaper than what it's available right now. But I got it on Amazon for $27.99 with free shipping. You can get it right now on Amazon for $31.99, which isn't that much more expensive. I guess maybe it was cheaper for me because it was the pre-order price. That's the only thing I can figure out. But, you know, $31.99, I think for, if I think this deck is going to be what I imagine it to be, probably would be a good price, but we'll see after I open it up. I'm going to take off the plastic off camera, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so if you've seen any of my other unboxing videos, you know that I do not like the way that Amazon typically ships their decks. I get almost all my decks from Amazon anytime that I'm able to because of the free shipping. But lately they've been shipping decks in that really crappy envelope plastic-like bag kind of a situation. But this one was actually shipped in a box, so I was really happy. Maybe it's because it's so big, if you can see. Oh, and excuse my hand, I always have writing on my hand because I have a horrible memory. But if you look at the size of the box, it's a really, for an Oracle deck, it's a really big box, I think. Probably most people have this one, at least, so you can kind of see the comparison. This is a square box, but let me put it on top. So it's a little bit wider and a little bit shorter. And a little bit thicker too, just a tiny bit thicker than the original Wild Unknown boxes. Okay, so let's see what's happening with this. It has the same sleeve type of a thing going on as the other two decks that she did have. I guess it's just like an extra layer of protection. So here's the actual box. So right off the bat, I'll just tell you it's a very nice, thick, sturdy box like her other two have been, with the same magnetic closure. I'm not sure what the complaints have been about this deck. I've just heard, like I said, rumblings and rumors that it's just, I guess, not good quality, and I'm not sure exactly why they say that, and I'm really hoping that mine isn't like that, but I guess we'll see and we can make the judgment ourselves. But the box itself looks fabulous. Like I said, it's really heavy, and it's got that magnet closure that her other two do. And on the inside it says accept all, reject none, and then it's got the book on top, just like her other boxes do, with the little ribbon. So yeah, she's basically, that's her style. She has these it's hard to do one-handed. She has these magnetic closure boxes that you will find the cards in, and this is a circular deck if you didn't know. And in this one, it looks like the cards actually come in their own box within the box, so that's even greater protection. But then she always puts her little guidebook on top. So let's look at the book first before we get into the cards. So the book is really thick and You know, it's not one of those cheap chintzy books. I don't know if anybody has complained about the book at all. But it looks really cool. It looks kind of similar in a way to her other books that she's done, where it's got the picture of the card and then it's got her writing on the other page. It's got a really strong smell to it, which sometimes that happens. I don't know why. It doesn't really bother me that much, but I know some people it does bother, so just to let you know, it's got that, you know, factory chemical kind of smell. But this is a really big book. Let me see how many pages it is. So it's over 200 pages. This is a pretty big book, if you could see that way. And it looks like she's got it in sections just like she has her other books. So if you're familiar at all with Kim Kranz's art and her decks, it's like it seems very much like she's got a pattern that she follows when making her decks and books. So I like the book so far. I think it looks really nice, and it looks like she put a lot of care and attention to it, and it doesn't even look like she spared any expense. I don't know. Maybe the people who have been complaining just got some bad decks or bad boxes. So if you could see, this is how she kind of does her boxes. It's like a little recess that the cards go in. But for this one, like I said, she took an extra layer of care. If you could see, this is a really cool interior box that went within the box that has all the cards in it. So I think she did that for the other two decks too, if I'm not mistaken. But I like to keep mine the way that they come. But the good thing about her doing the interior boxes within the exterior boxes is that if you want to, you know, not get rid of it, but let's say you don't want to display it and you just want to have your cards with easy access, then you can just put the exterior box up, and then you still have this good protective interior box to, you know, keep on your bookshelf or wherever you keep your cards. And I think it's really cool that she put the circular cards in a circular box. But I'm going to go ahead and flip through. And after I'm done flipping through the cards, we can pick one at random to look in the book so I can read the description and you can kind of get a feel for what this Oracle deck is all about. I think that these are a nice quality card. I'm really unsure what people are complaining about, because as you can see, it's not a very thin cardstock. It's pretty good cardstock. I guess the back of the cards might look a little pixelated, but that doesn't really bother me. As far as the image itself, I think it looks... I'm not a big collage person, but I think, you know, the colors that were used look saturated. It looks... Her artwork looks like it's in keeping with the other decks. So I'm not really sure. Maybe people just didn't like the collage aspect of it. I'm trying to be careful of the cards, so that's why I'm kind of taking them slowly. comment down below if you're watching this to let me know what you think of the cards, if you think there's something wrong with the art, or if you can see any reason why people would be complaining about it. I don't think that it's really any different from the way she's done her other decks as far as the setup. And it doesn't feel like these cards are thin to me. I don't know. Maybe people are just picky. But I can tell you, just from my initial impression of this deck, that I think I got my money's worth from it. I don't see any kind of damage to anything. The box wasn't damaged, or the book, or the cards. That's really pretty. I could say it's probably not going to be my favorite deck, just because I'm not a big collage art kind of person. Like, I really loved the Lightseer's Tarot by Chris-Anne Donnelly, but I didn't like her muse deck so much because it was collage art. And that's just a personal preference thing. There's nothing wrong with the cards themselves. Everybody appreciates art differently. Art speaks to people differently. Everybody's got their own likes and dislikes. But I don't know what anybody's complaining about, honestly. I always had a thing for circle decks. I just think they're kind of cool because most decks are rectangular. It just makes it a little bit different. Because they're new, it's kind of hard to get them off the stack, but I'm sure once I get them all separated that it'll be easy to shuffle. Like, I can kind of see them sliding around once I put them on the other stack. And I would just shuffle this deck overhand. This reminds me of all the Aurora Borealis pictures I've been seeing from Norway on my Instagram. That's pretty too. That card reminds me, one of my favorite movies is The Village by M. Night Shyamalan. I know I'm weird. Probably a lot of people didn't like that movie, but I really liked it. I'm really interested to see what the book is going to say about these cards. So each card has a number, a Roman numeral number at the top, and each card has I guess it's like a title at the bottom. Oops. I'm having a little breezy day here. It's so beautiful today. It feels like springtime. October's my favorite month. But it's a little breezy, so hopefully these won't fly away. I don't know what a bardo is. Maybe we should look that one up and figure out what that is. And that just popped the Cheap Trick song in my head. It'd be interesting to use all 3 decks together for a reading, I think. If you have the Wild Unknown and the Animal Spirit deck also. I almost think that this Oracle deck might go better with the Wild Unknown Tarot than the Spirit Animal deck, because I feel like the Animal Spirit deck goes really well with my El Goliath Tarot. If you're not familiar with that one, if you just look up El Goliath Tarot on Instagram, he's got an account there where he shows all the different cards. They're all animals. It's a really awesome, beautiful artwork kind of a deck. That looks like something you look at to get hypnotized. I'm just joking. Okay, so these are different kinds of love, Eros and Agape. Okay, so that's it. Let me shuffle really quick and I'll grab one and be right back so we can look at it. Okay, so before I get into reading one of the descriptions, I just wanted to say that I briefly looked through the book to kind of figure out what her point was in making this. She talks a little bit about Carl Jung, who was a psychologist who really delved into archetypes, and basically archetypes are something that he believed were images or energies that existed like since the beginning of time, and so they're kind of in our collective unconscious, whether we embody them or not. They are all to be found within all of us. So I guess that was like the little history that she gave before she introduced it. And then she is telling you that in addition to using this for doing readings, she's got some other ways that you can use the deck. So I was just going to read this really quickly in case you were wondering how this deck could be used specifically, besides just as an oracle deck. So she says, you can use it for archetypal study. Grasping the concept of what archetypes are and how archetypal energy moves can be challenging at first. For that reason, Feel free to use this deck as a learning tool. Think of it as a set of mystical flashcards helping you to learn a new archetypal language. Get to know the overriding archetypes that dominate your life, your town, social group, culture. Get comfortable with the terms and the Greek terms on the trump cards. Let the concepts challenge you, stump you, and stretch your mind. That is their job. Or you can use them for divination. If you're already a reader of cards, weaving these gems into your pools will deepen the story and conversation. Integrate them into your readings with other decks, the Wild Unknown and Animal Spirit decks, perhaps. That's her little plug there. Or use the archetype cards on their own. How this plays out is up to you. Be open to unconventional methods of combining decks together, and a new channel of insight and power is likely to open to you. If you are new to using cards as a divination tool or method of gaining insight into your life or another's, go slow. Don't use too many cards at a time. I would suggest working with the spreads. Follow the image and the inner quest as described in the following pages. Be kind and patient with yourself and the cards. Or you could use them as image inspiration. It is my belief that archetypal images have the ability to guide us toward meaning, mystery, and new opportunities. In this light, have your favorite cards around throughout the day. Put one on your nightstand and one on your altar. I keep a card in my car at all times. Let the archetypes surround you. They don't like living in a box. I've also heard that a lot of people like to meditate on a card a day. I guess that would be another thing that you could do. So the card I drew was the heart, and it wasn't hard to shuffle this deck except for the fact that they're kind of large circle cards and I have really tiny hands, but most people probably won't have any issue with that. They don't stick and they're not too slippery. They're made out of the same material, I think, as the Wild Unknown Tarot is. So I think she really, made all of her decks in the exact same fashion. Okay, so let's look at the book now. It says, the home, the center, the throne. This is for the heart. It is possible from an imaginal point of view to sense the heart as a place. Either we are there within the realm of expansion and compassion, or we have drifted somewhere else. There is no in between. It is common for us to leave this archetypal center without realizing it, as the world, with its seductive twists and turns, offers us frequent departure. We may even become a stranger to the landscape of the heart, leaving it vacant for long stretches of time. The seat of the heart is often reclaimed by nature, music, dance, and the presence of children or animals. This card encourages us to move past the layers of life's tangles and knots and enter the wild and sacred center of the self. The most precious throne in the galaxy is awaiting your return. Some say there is a cave at the center of the heart. Others say it's a pool with a flowering white lotus. Imagine yourself there and draw what you see. Recall the last time your heart was touched. Soak in every detail you can and feel the heart awaken. When light, expansive knowing, gentle clarity. When dark, fraught, tangled, betrayal. Go deeper. Wild is the Wind by Nina Simone. So yeah, in summary, I would just say that I don't see anything wrong with this deck. I don't know why people have been slamming it in the reviews. I haven't read any of the reviews. I've just heard people talking about it. I think it's a really unique deck. I have one other archetype deck. It's by Carolyn Miss, but it's not one that I use very often. I think that I would probably reach for this archetype deck before I would reach for the Carolyn Miss one. But you can get that from Hay House if you're interested in that. So yeah, I give it 2 thumbs up. I think it was a good price that I got it for, and even when it's available now, I think it's still a good price. And I don't see where she has cut any corners on anything. And I think it'd be something really great for self-exploration. I don't know that I would use it as much in readings. I think that I probably would go the route of just, you know, doing a daily mindfulness kind of meditation on each card of the day or whatever. Or you could do it for journaling. I think that would be a really good way to use it too. You could use it however you want. If you can think of any other ways that this deck might be used, please comment below and share with everybody else. And I thank you so much for watching. I'll be doing some more unboxing very soon.